So, to start off, I use a larger brush and I wet the canvas. Make sure you have a cup of water near you because that's what we need for the acrylic paint. Clean off your brushes.
What is that?
This is the picture that we're going to be doing. How big of a brush? So for the background and for wetting the canvas, you can use a bigger one, and then we're going to use a smaller one. That's a really good question. Okay, so the color that we're going to be using, I think, I have this cerulean blue, and then I'm going to mix it with white. So I'm taking white. So I try to put the colors that I wanted already on my palette. So right here are the colors. You can put it on now. And I'm taking cerulean blue, mixing it, and getting this light blue, which is a nice color for the sky. Then we're going to be painting the sea. And for that, you can also use a large brush, and we're going to go into more detail on it later. So, I have the cerulean blue mixed with the white right now, but I'm going to take the cerulean blue that I have, and oh my gosh, this is so wet. Alright, and I'm mixing that with a primary blue. And I'll show you, my primary blue is also the basics. So if you just have the primary blue, then this can work. You could just make it really light and then make it, and then you could keep it dark. And then I would add in with this, if you're just using this color, I would add in black. And I guess I added black unintentionally actually while I wasn't looking. So now I have this color. I'll show it to you. What I'm mixing has some black, and then it has the cerulean blue and the primary blue. And then I'm going to start here. I'm not going to go as high up as that picture, and I'm going to try to go straight across. That gets curved a little, but straight as much as you can. As straight as you can possibly go. And like I said, we're going to be able to fix it, even it. That's mixing a lot with the wet light blue that I did before, and then we could go into it later with more to make it darker. Because while it's wet, it's going to be blending a lot. My birds love my painting class, so if you hear them, they're just saying hi. I'm also taking a little bit of this bright aqua green. And you don't have to, but I'm just gonna, just because my colors are so strange, I'm gonna put a little bit of this color in it. What I'm doing is, I don't have a dark enough color on the top, so I'm just smoothing out the light blue, and then once that's dried a little bit, I'm going to use a smaller brush because this brush is not making a clean line. So the brush that I'm going to be using is this brush. The color brand that I have is Burnt Umber, I believe. Yeah, Burnt Umber. And this is going to be for the sandy area. And I'm going to mix that brown in with the blue that I was using before. And then This is the color that I have, the brown. Last time I made a pretty decent line for the last painting, but I don't know, my line just is not that even. So quickly, I'm just taking a piece of tape and I'm just cleaning it up. And you do not have to do this at all. If you already made a really nice line, then do not worry about this step. So taking a couple of the blues that I have, and the blues that I've been using, like I said, primary blue, bright aqua green, cerulean blue, and turquoise. Got this really dark blue. I'll show it to you. And this dark blue, I'm gonna put at the top. I think it needs less turquoise than regular. It needs more regular blue. It's too green and blue. Alright, so this is what my dark blue looks like now, which I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to wait a little bit?
Yeah. Just like another day. So.
Dad?
It's me. Do you need anything?
Yeah.
Is it like urgent?
No, I need Dad. Lori and Shelly. Say hi.
Hi, people.
All right, welcome back. Sorry about all that craziness. Okay. So now we're going to use the white, and I have this brush. Now I have this feather brush that I used last time, and you can also use, if you do not have this, like Bob Ross. Sorry. I want to say a smaller, thinner brush, maybe sort of like the one I was using before, or even this one right now. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to take some white, and we're going to start to make some areas where the waves are. Now I'm just taking spots and dabbing. Taking spots and dabbing. Just dabbing. So I'm using this brush, and there's a little squirt of white right there, but I'm using the tip of it. It's very, very thin. And with this tip, I'm going to the corners, and I'm just doing little dabs. Okay, and then I just made this little shape that's in the picture with the wave, which is folding over. You know how waves, they splash and then they sort of fold. So that's the part I'm doing right here. And I'm just going in and dabbing. And if, yeah, thank you, good. I want to make sure you can see. And then now I'm just taking the white. I have it to the side. So I'm taking the white from here. And then I like to have it on the side so that I'm dabbing it and there's not so much a clump. We don't want it to be clumpy. We want it to be really thinly on the brush. And then Move down a little bit more, and then there's another part to the wave right here. All right. And then there are little parts on this side. There's not so much wave on this side, but they're just little white. Implying small waves, probably. So, if you look really closely, you can see all the little white markings that I made. And then I'm going to go underneath. And then there's a lot more white and chunky, thick wave. So, and then it has little parts that are coming up. So I'm first doing these, I'm going like this, these motions. So down to the right, sort of. So if you look really closely, I'm going to show you that this is what the markings look like. And then we're going to go over it again. I just want to make sure to have those splash marks. So like this, like this. And I'm going to go across the entire thing. And then once you've made those marks on the top to show the splashing motion, then we're going to continue to make those dab markings to make this really thick splash that it has. And the splashing could be as crazy as you want it to look. Then once I made a general shape, I did let it be a little clumpier, and that's only at the bottom part of the wave. So the splashing down part. That's where I made the white thicker, and I can move it closer to show you how it looks. And if you still have the dark blue that you were doing for the top, underneath here there are shadows from the wave. And I'm gonna go into it underneath here. So I have my dark blue from before, which is my primary blue mixed with black. So in the larger parts, I'm gonna make some indication of wave. What I'm doing now with my feather brush is I'm literally just taking it and making little splash markings. You can do this with a small brush. We're gonna go into the water area, the middle of the water. Sorry, and right here, just gonna go like that. Just horizontal marks. So I have a mixture of cerulean blue, primary blue, and is it turquoise? Yeah, I think so. I'm also going to use really dark because they're all different shades of blue in here. So I took different shades of blue and I did little swipes across in this area. Use this brush again for that part. And then probably yeah. And then on the sides it's a little bit darker in the water, so do that. So I mix the cerulean blue with the black, or you can use the primary blue and mix that with black. So it's sort of the white is making a trail around the entire area. So sort of you could just take your brush and then I would just go with it. For the thicker parts, I want to use a bigger brush because then I'm going to cover more ground than just doing a bunch of little spots. Yeah, so I just made it really thick at the bottom.
Oh, that's the waves.
And then we're going to go and do more detail later. But for right now, if you want, you could even use a big brush. Put it on really thin. And then just make those weird shapes that it has. And then you could stop doing the doodles right around the point where we were making all those colorful squigglies. That's where I'm stopping. And then I could just make a little more of those marks, but not the squiggles. I guess in between, just making little shadows of the water. So I'm mixing cerulean blue and black. Got this grayish blue color. Like I said, in this part I'm just doing a lot of white and then making it splash. And I'm mixing white with some blue and black. And I'm making this gray. And this gray we're going to use for the splashes. So they're splashing up. So we're just going to mix the gray into the white, and hopefully it's still a little wet. I'm using my fingers to blend it. And you can use whatever you like. You can use your brush to blend. I find that my fingers just blend best. And then when it gets to the sand area, we're going to want to make it mix the brown, the burnt umber brown with the black, and make this color right here. And then that color I'm going to use by the sand, and that's going to be the shadow for the splashes by the sand. And I'm also doing some of those, like what I did up here, I'm doing some of that down here. And my brush is a little bit dry, and so is my canvas. And the white could be a little bit more thicker with little tiny blue spaces. That's what I'm seeing in the picture.